Today we are all the Black Panther, and today we will fight as one, for Wakanda. These powerful words resonate beyond the pages of comics and the frames of cinema, echoing the spirit of a hero who's captured the hearts of fans worldwide. Black Panther, the regal guardian of Wakanda, isn't just a superhero. He's a symbol of strength, innovation, and unity. In the realm of comics and pop culture, there's something uniquely fascinating about T'Challa's journey, from his enhanced senses to his vulnerabilities. Join us as we embark on a thrilling exploration of the anatomy of the Black Panther, where crisp knowledge meets nerdy fascination. Before we go into our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us, it means a lot. Thank you. Let's begin. Who is T'Challa? How did he become Black Panther? Once upon a time, a gigantic meteorite decided to crash on Earth and brought along a new mineral called vibranium. Wakanda, being the clever cats they are, grabbed this mineral by the horns and used it to kickstart their technological evolution. Zooming ahead a few millennia, we meet Black Panther T'Chaka, who kept the Wakandan show on the road, gathering tech and economic achievements that made the rest of the world look like it was still churning butter. Now, T'Chaka wasn't thrilled with the idea of Wakanda's precious secrets falling into the wrong hands. He locked up the country and hid the key, making sure outsiders wouldn't tamper with his vibranium-infused utopia. Naomi, T'Challa's mom-to-be, had a rough go of it and didn't survive birthing the future Black Panther. As fate would have it, a trouble-making Dutch scientist named Ulysses Claw found his way into Wakanda, cooked up a sound-based vibranium weapon, and gave T'Chaka a hard time. Little T'Challa, being a small-sized hero in training, turned the tables on Claw, zapping his hand into oblivion with the weapon. Claw dashed away, leaving Wakanda exposed to the world, and swore revenge. Fast forwarding to T'Challa's, he's faced off against his uncle King Sion in the Royal Rumble, a tradition where Wakandan royalty battled for the throne. Sounds like Game of Thrones, but with more vibranium and fewer icy zombies. T'Challa pulled a surprise victory out of his vibranium hat. He became king and chomped down on the heart-shaped herb, turning into a full-fledged superhero smoothie of enhanced senses, agility, strength, and overall butt-kicking capability. The big question now is the heart-shaped herb all you need to become the Black Panther? At least this is not the case with T'Challa. Yes, he became supercharged after munching on the heart-shaped herb, a plant that got its amazing power-giving features from vibranium. This herbal snack deal cranked his physical prowess up to 11. But here's the thing, T'Challa wasn't just sitting around watching cat videos before this. He'd been martial artsing and brain powering his way to genius level, even before the herbal boost. Acrobatics, combat, hunting, he aced it all. Breaking it down, T'Challa's superhero resume was a multi-course meal. Royal lineage. He was born into the VIP club of Wakandan monarchy. Intense training. He made Rocky Balboa look like a couch potato, mastering every combat style and weapon known to humankind, and maybe a few unknown ones. Bookworm brilliance. He didn't just punch things. He knew Wakanda's history, laws, traditions, and the scientific jazz that made their tech kick. Science nerd status. The guy was no stranger to test tubes and lab coats. As king, he needed to be the brain behind Wakanda's impressive tech. Herbal buff. Lastly, after all that, he chewed on the heart-shaped herb, the VIP backstage pass to superhuman city. Thus, T'Challa, the Black Panther, is the one with a royal bloodline, brains, brawn, and a botanical boost that made him the coolest cat in the comic kingdom. His claws are made of antimetal. Alright fellow nerds, let's talk claws. Black Panther's got them, and they're not your average nails. You know that vibranium stuff? The crown jewel of Wakanda's wealth? Well, it's like the Swiss Army knife of the Marvel Universe. Can be a shield, a gadget, a fashion statement, you name it. But when it comes to T'Challa's claws, they're not vibranium, but something even more wickedly cool. Antarctic vibranium, also known as antimetal. Most of Black Panther's suit is vibranium, which is great for defense. But what if you're up against someone who's also rocking vibranium or similarly tough stuff? That's where antimetal swoops in. This rare beast, found only in the savage land of Antarctica, is quite useful, especially if you are prone to enter a war zone. It can vibrate like a rock star and make the molecular bonds of nearby metals slowly break down, turning them into metallic mush. Imagine Iron Man's suit turning into a melted cheese sandwich. Antimetal is like the ninja of metals, sneaky and deadly. T'Challa uses it in his claws to play the long game. Instead of a brute force showdown, he chips away at his enemy's metal defenses, making holes to exploit. And the best part? Anti-metal is rarer than a unicorn in a superhero cape. It's locked away in Antarctica's ice-cold embrace, guarded by all the dangers that place has to offer. So, not only does Black Panther get to rip through metal like a hot knife through butter, but he's also the only one who gets to play with this cool toy. Plus, he's got the Wakandan brainiacs backing him up in the vibranium department. In the MCU, you've seen those retractable claws in action, but in the comics, those claws are even nastier, thanks to the unique vibes of Antarctic vibranium. Just remember, not all vibranium is vibranium. Some of it's antimetal, and it's got a grudge against heavy metal. He can smell if someone lies. Forget about dogs sensing your fear or cats caring about your emotional turmoil. We're diving into the Black Panther's super smeller territory. T'Challa's sniffer isn't just top tier, it's superhero level epic, thanks to that vibranium-infused herb cocktail he consumed, aka the heart-shaped herb. I bet you remember that. Black Panther's senses got a turbo boost. His vision? It's like having binoculars for eyeballs. It's super sharp, can see farther than you and me type humans, and even comes with night vision that spans into the ultraviolet and infrared zones. But that's just the tip of the super senses iceberg. T'Challa's nose is the real deal here. He can sniff out more scents than a bloodhound on a caffeine binge, and he's got a mental library of thousands of different smells and their sources. If he walks into a room and says, "I smell trouble," you better believe it. He can catch a liar in the act just by taking a whiff. Yep, if you're fibbing or trying to pull a fast one, Black Panther's super sniffer will pick up the subtle changes in your body odor faster than you can say polygraph. So forget about trying to trick this Wakandan detective. Hence, you can call T'Challa the nose of justice. Just remember, when you're around him, your secrets may not be safe from his olfactory superpower. Why Black Panther is the king of the dead. Black Panther isn't just a king to Wakanda, he's the king of the dead as well. T'Challa's journey took a creepy turn when the underground city of Necropolis started throwing tantrums on the surface. Not your typical day in paradise, right? So what does T'Challa do? He dials up his genius buddy Reed Richards, aka Mr. Fantastic, because when it comes to brain power, Reed's the only one who can give T'Challa some competition. Together, they venture into Necropolis, the city of the dead, where all the previous Black Panthers rest in peace. It's like Wakandan's personal exclusive graveyard, and it's haunted by restless spirits. Amidst all the ghostly shenanigans, they meet Bast, the Panther god. T'Challa's got a request. He wants to be the Black Panther again without messing with his sis, Shuri's gig. But there's a catch. Shuri, Susan Richards, and Storm are tripping on an herb that lets them see the gods, and they're about to go toe-to-toe with Anubis, the god of the dead, who's behind the undead uprising. In the ultimate showdown, Bast shows T'Challa a vision of Wakanda drowning in trouble, and she says, "It's time for you to step up and be more than just a king. You're the king of the dead now." T'Challa becomes the ultimate zombie wrangler, wielding the power and knowledge of every past Black Panther. He's a king among kings, Bast's champion, and Necropolis is his new crib, while Shuri holds down the fort in Wakanda. Amongst all other powers that he has, T'Challa can now raise the dead and make them do his bidding. Yeah, you read that right. He's got his very own army of zombie soldiers. In Secret Wars number 7, he assembles this mean crew of the dearly departed to take on the god Emperor Doom. There's an epic pep talk, some serious multiverse level battles, and Black Panther even shows up rocking the Infinity Gauntlet, ready to give Doom a run for his money.
For my rage is greater.
Black Panther has ability of invisibility. Alright fellow nerds, here's a twist you might not know about Black Panther. He's got a knack for vanishing acts that would make Houdini jealous. First off, his superhuman agility and speed already make it a Herculean task to keep an eye on him. It's like trying to track a hummingbird in a hurricane. Yeah, good luck with that. But that's just a start. In the Black Panther movie, we got a peek behind the scenes of his costume change game. His Panther armor, it's tucked away in his necklace, like his own superhero walk-in closet. But in the comics, it's even more mind-blowing. His suit is like a tech wizard's dream. It can bend light, making Black Panther disappear into thin air. Imagine trying to fight an enemy who's suddenly gone poof. That's the level we're talking about. And if he doesn't feel like vanishing altogether, he can use the same tech to make his armor look like regular street clothes. Yeah, that casual T'Challa look, it's a high-tech illusion. The best part is he doesn't even need buttons or switches to do this magic trick. Nope, he can control it telepathically. One thought and he's gone, just like that. So when Black Panther decides to pull a disappearing act, you better believe he's gone in the blink of an eye.
You are in my mind.
He does have enhanced senses. Black Panther's senses are no joke. We discussed his eyesight and smelling powers, but that's not all. There's much more. Talking about his ears, they are not at all average. T'Challa's hearing is like having supersonic hearing aids. He picks up sounds that regular folks can't even dream of, and he hears things from distances that would make a daredevil jealous. Forget eavesdropping. He's got the ears of a superhero spy. Now let's talk taste buds. T'Challa's taste is so on point that he can identify every single ingredient in his food. That's right, he's like a walking, talking food critic. His palate is so refined that he could probably tell you the recipe for your grandma's secret sauce with one bite. He's not just a superhero, he's a sensory superhero. So when you're around him, be on your best behavior because he's picking up more than you might think. Is he immune to telepathy? Telepathy, the mutant mind game that lets folks mess with your thoughts. It's no easy feat to overcome. But guess what? T'Challa has a knack for throwing up a mental force field against even the most powerful telepaths Earth 616 has to offer. Now, we're not entirely sure how he does it, but he can take an educated guess. It's probably a blend of tech wizardry and some serious mental conditioning. After all, this guy has been around the block and knows the ropes of superheroing. Black Panther has had his own psychic powers at times, so he's no stranger to the mind game, and that might have given him a leg up in building his telepathic immunity. Take the case of Emma Frost, the Omega-class telepath, who tried to peek into T'Challa's thoughts in Original Sin number 4. Her conclusion? His mind was like a steel trap wrapped in barbed wire, and someone had set it on fire. That's telepathy resistance on a whole new level, but it doesn't stop there. T'Challa can even hush his thoughts, like a seasoned telepath. In Cable number 54, Cable himself, a powerful mutant with telepathic abilities, barely senses T'Challa lurking in the jungle canopy above, and when Cable asks the king how he pulled off this mental stealth act, T'Challa coolly replies, "I am all about stealth. My jungle training allows me to conceal myself even from one such as you." Black Panther doesn't just rule over Wakanda. He's the master of mind games too. His mental prowess is so on point that even the most learned telepaths have a hard time cracking his thoughts. It's just one more reason why he's the king of the Marvel Universe's jungle. Can he teleport? Teleportation. No, I'm not referring to those themed heroes. We're diving into the world of Black Panther and his nifty teleportation trick. Life is not all roses when you're a superhero. Even the mightiest heroes can have bad days. Well, when Black Panther has things going sideways, he simply teleports. Yes, so what's the Panther's escape plan when things get dicey? His suit comes with a teleportation feature. When the going gets tough and victory seems out of reach, or maybe he's just not feeling it that day, he can vanish in a flash to an undisclosed location. He once created a teleportation device that was a tad unstable. It had a nasty habit of tearing apart anyone who dared to use it, even those with impressive healing abilities. So, let's just say that Black Panther's teleportation skills aren't just about making a quick exit, they can also pack a punch. Does he have a healing ability? You need a lot more than just combat skills to be Black Panther. Hence, he's got some impressive healing thing going on too. His regenerative abilities are like a secret weapon that keeps him in the fight longer and tougher than your average hero. First off, his healing speed is beyond imagination. T'Challa's metabolism and immune system are tuned to perfection, ensuring that he bounces back from injuries at an astonishing rate. Think of him as the Wolverine of Wakanda, minus the adamantium skeleton. When talking about stamina, you can call this guy a marathon fighter. In Black Panther number 20, he throws down with his rival, Eric Killmonger, for a whopping 13 hours. That's like two boxers hopped up on pre-workout going punch for punch. And trust me, they're not sipping tea between rounds. But it obviously doesn't end there. In Jungle Action number 14, he goes on a 3-day stalking spree through the dense Serpent Valley, chasing down the villain Somber. During this wild pursuit, he's tearing at his suit like it's a stress ball, indicating a sign of his exhaustion. But guess what? He doesn't quit. After taking down Somber, he faces off against a T-Rex, and the battle lasts for a full 5 days. The guy is relentless. Thanks to the heart-shaped herb, it grants T'Challa rapid healing, mending his broken bones in the blink of an eye. Plus, it gives him immunity to diseases and toxins. I believe the rapid healing helps boost his stamina, making him able to play the A-game. So, while most heroes might need a vacation after a brawl like that, T'Challa is ready for round 2. Although most versions of Black Panther don't have the full-on regeneration abilities, like some of our other favorite mutants. But hey, he's got the heart-shaped herb and a warrior spirit. That's more than enough to make him one of the most resilient heroes in the Marvel Universe. Does he have any love interest? Can he reproduce? Ready to dive into the love life of the one and only Black Panther, T'Challa. Now, if you're just a movie buff and haven't delved into the comics, you might not know this juicy tidbit. Black Panther was once happily married to none other than Storm, or Aurora, from the X-Men. T'Challa and Storm were head over heels for each other, but here's where it gets interesting. As much as they adored each other, T'Challa felt the weight of being the king of Wakanda on his shoulders. He believed he needed to give his undivided attention to his royal duties, so they decided to part ways. And it wasn't because they fell out of love, it was all about priorities. This union brought together two major Marvel superhero squads, the Avengers and the X-Men. Their wedding was a star-studded affair, featuring some of the most iconic heroes in the Marvel Universe. It was like the Met Gala of superhero weddings. But here's where the movie timeline takes a different turn. In the films, Nakia is the one who gave birth to Prince T'Challa during the blip, which, for comic book fans, might have dashed hopes for a Storm and Black Panther storyline. In the comics, they tied the knot, solidifying a powerful bond between the Avengers and the X-Men. Now, while Storm and Black Panther didn't have any children together in the mainline comics, there's a twist. In an alternate universe, they did have a son named Azari. This young hero inherited both of his parents' superpowers, including the ability to generate and manipulate electricity. He became a strong figure and even joined the next Avengers to battle Ultron. Black Panther's love life is a complex web of romance, duty, and epic superhero team-ups. Is he immortal? Let's talk about the times Black Panther, the king of Wakanda, met his end, both in the comics and on the silver screen. In the comics, 1. T'Chaka's sacrifice. It all begins with T'Chaka, T'Challa's father and the previous Black Panther. He met his demise while protecting his son from the clutches of Ulysses S. Claw, who later became the villainous Claw. T'Chaka's death left a void in Wakanda and marked the passing of the Black Panther mantle to T'Challa. 2. Sion's heroic stand. T'Challa's uncle, Sion, assumed the role of Black Panther after T'Chaka's death, but eventually, T'Challa challenged him for the title. When Dr. Doom targeted Wakanda to seize its vibranium resources, Sion perished defending Queen Ramonda from Doom's forces. 3. T'Challa's comatose state. When T'Challa himself didn't die in the comics, his Black Panther persona temporarily did. During a turbulent period involving the Civil War and Skrull invasions, T'Challa fell into a coma after being attacked by Dr. Doom. During his incapacitation, Shuri, his sister, took on the mantle of the Black Panther, demonstrating her valor and commitment to Wakanda. 4. The future T'Challa's end. In a unique storyline, T'Challa is catapulted 10 years into the future while pursuing the King Solomon frogs. Future T'Challa, through a ruler of Wakanda, is fatally ill. Upon his return to the present-day T'Challa faces the same deadly illness, but meets his demise at the hands of Man-Ape. This storyline explores the contrast between two versions of T'Challa from different timelines. In the movies, we all know that Chadwick Boseman, who portrayed T'Challa in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, passed away, leaving the character's fate in question. To honor both Boseman and T'Challa, Black Panther Wakanda Forever touchingly addressed this loss. In the film, T'Challa succumbs to a mysterious ailment. Shuri tirelessly works to create a synthetic substitute for the heart-shaped herb, which could save her brother. However, T'Challa's disease progresses, and he eventually journeys to the ancestral plane. The movie never explicitly names the disease that claims T'Challa's life, but it mirrors Chadwick Boseman's real-life battle with colon cancer. Like Boseman, T'Challa keeps his condition a secret from his loved ones, wanting to spare them from the pain of knowing. This parallel between the character and the actor pays a heartfelt tribute to the late Chadwick Boseman. While T'Challa may have left the mortal realm in the MCU, his memory lives on, inspiring those around him to continue his legacy. His young son, Toussaint, represents the enduring impact a person can have on the world, even after they're gone. So, in both the comics and on the big screen, Black Panther's journey is marked by moments of sacrifice, heroism, and legacy, making him an enduring and beloved character in the Marvel Universe.
Just like your old man.
What weaknesses does he have? Sure thing. Here are Black Panther's weaknesses. 1. Electrocution shock. Even the mighty Black Panther isn't invincible, and one of his kryptonites is a shocking surprise. Vibranium, the miraculous metal powering his suit, might be a double-edged sword. It's fantastic at absorbing kinetic energy, but it's also an electricity conductor. A little zap slowed him down once in Captain America: The Winter Soldier. More electricity means more trouble for our feline hero. 2. Arrogance. Thy name is T'Challa. Don't let the cool cat demeanor fool you. Black Panther can be pretty full of himself. In the comics, his overconfidence was dialed up to 11. While he's undoubtedly brilliant and skilled, his ego sometimes gets in the way. Imagine Iron Man, but with a vibranium suit. When he's too smug, it doesn't make him a great team player. 3. Magic? No thanks. Magic swirls through the Marvel universe like glitter at a New Year's Eve party. Sadly, T'Challa didn't get the memo on how to deal with it. His vibranium-rich suit can't shield him from mystical attacks. 4. Complex relationship. It's almost a rite of passage for Marvel heroes to have a bone to pick with dear old dad. Star-Lord, Gamora, Loki, and even Thor had their beef. T'Challa's no different. His father's complex past leaves him feeling alone and sentimental. He can't always see straight when it comes to decisions his father made due to his unwavering loyalty. Daddy issues may tug at his heartstrings, but they can also leave him vulnerable. 5. He's just a human. In a world of aliens, robots, and magic spells, being just human can be a downer. Black Panther's suit is intimidating, but underneath, he's flesh and bone. Knives, broken bones, and nasty surprises can hurt him like any regular man. 6. Wakandan nationalism. Loyalty to one's country is noble, but it can also be a hero's Achilles heel. Wakanda, with all its vibranium riches, is both a strength and a weakness. T'Challa's strong sense of nationalism can lead to tunnel vision. He's torn between protecting the world and safeguarding Wakanda's interests. Sometimes, his pride, distrust of others, and intense nationalism don't paint a pretty picture for a superhero trying to collaborate with the Avengers. Marvelous verdict. In times of crisis, the Black Panther rises. T'Challa, the embodiment of Wakanda's resilience, showcases the best of comics and pop culture. As we conclude this exploration, let us remember the essence of the Black Panther spirit, a call to unite, innovate, and embrace the hero within ourselves. With this sentiment, we bid farewell to the King of Wakanda, who will forever reign in our hearts and imaginations. And if you liked our content, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to us if you haven't already. Have a good one and be safe.